Hello everyone, it's Caroline Labor from Money Mindset Accelerator, and today I'm really excited to bring on a very special guest. So one of the things that's really important in wealth creation is ensuring that you've actually got the two pillars in place. So the first one being your money mindset, and if you've watched any of my videos previously, you would have heard me talk a lot about that and how important it is to make sure that you're not repelling money, that you're actually attracting it by energetically having the right mindset to bring more money into your life. But if you're wanting to create wealth, then there's a second pillar that's equally as important, and that is having a strategy to create wealth, because without that, you don't have any clear action that you're taking. And so one of the most effective and probably underutilized strategies is property investment. And so I'm bringing on a special guest today. So it is Tim Allwood, who's the Director of Compass Property Investments. And Tim is going to talk to us about property investment as a wealth creation strategy. So let me get our special guest on right now. Hello, Tim. How are you?
G'day, Caroline. Thanks for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you for coming on. So I've just been telling my listeners about how property investment is a great wealth creation strategy, but possibly one that I suspect is underutilized by maybe Australians in particular. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I have to agree, because a lot of people do take advantage of the system, which is the taxman and the tenant, to help pay for the majority of their property, particularly now when you've got low interest rates. It doesn't cost anything to hold a property, yet people still don't get involved because their mind wanders towards the media, or what's all these negative thoughts that things don't work, or they overcomplicate it, overcook it, I say. And if you look at the fundamentals, property's always proven to be a successful track if you take certain steps, and all we do is help people make those steps right. So for us, it's what we do, and we love doing it.
Fantastic. And so overall, what are the reasons, or what would you say are the incentives for people getting involved in property as opposed to, say, shares?
Oh, look, realistically, people understand property because they can see and feel it. With shares, it's sort of an unknown for a lot of people. Shares are great. It's a long-term investment, just like property. But property is something that people understand more. It's a simpler thing. But there's still fundamentals you need to get right. Investing in the right area, which involves proper research to make sure there's capital growth. It is a long-term investment, so you need to hold on. But I think some people overcook it, or they don't trust someone to guide them. It's important to deal with people that have their best interests at heart and know what they're doing. So we just go through the right steps to ensure that it's in the right area. It's built well. If it's got the right features and it's the right area, it's going to rent well. And then once you get through that initial period, the properties become unstoppable, unbreakable, unstoppable, because the values go up, the rents go up, and then the person's in complete control, and they can actually buy another one based on that one, and they can keep going, and it becomes very boring very quickly. But using the system, which is the taxman who pays a lot of it and the tenant who pays most of it, it's quite easy. So we have a proven system, and we actually care, and we love our clients, and my people are all senior. So I think that's the important thing, to be around people that understand what they do. I'm always famous for saying that when my refrigerator breaks, I ring a refrigeration mechanic. And with property, I like to think we do a good job by educating people to take the right steps in the right way.
Absolutely. And that's a great point, because if I had to guess, I'd say that, most people find the idea of property investment really exciting, but probably daunting and overwhelming. Like, I know a lot of people wouldn't even know where to start, and that's where you guys step in, right?
Yeah, it starts off with research, and we give them a whole heap of research. They do their own research, which is Dr. Google, Professor Google, whatever. So they become empowered. It's not rocket science, but everyone has this is what I love about the money mindset, Caroline. This is what my wife and I have used yourself for your program, because we all have a hang up somewhere, and the way we process things comes from our past. And I just love it, and I'm so glad to be involved with what you do. And it's so important. It's simple, but it's important, and everyone needs to be working on their mindset and their wealth creation going forward, because it's not about becoming mega rich. It's just about being able to make choices, because as I famously say, if you do nothing, there's always a result. If you don't attend to the garden, the weeds will grow and it won't be a garden anymore, So you've got to be doing something, because the sweat of worrying about, am I doing the right thing, will become totally magnified as you become closer to retirement and you haven't provided. So it's vital.
Excellent. And so you touched on, so property's not necessarily there to make you like mega rich overnight. Like it's, something to sort of help fund your retirement in a lot of cases. But speaking of mega rich, I think some people would assume that you have to already be mega rich to even contemplate getting into property. So can you help dispel that myth a little bit?
Yeah. Well, you're right, because a lot of people can do it. Most people can do it, but they don't think they can, because they've been to their bank. Now, the average bank doesn't help you that well. So you need to have a proper investment specialist that can really make the magic work. There's a lot of ways to make sure that you're paying your existing house off quicker. There's ways that people can get involved without even owning a house. There's always a way for most people. Yes, you need a job in most cases, and you need a bit of discipline, but it's very achievable for many. And the biggest thing we find is people say, wow, they're halfway through the process and they go, wow, we should have done this years ago, and we should buy another one. When they realise how easy it is to do what we get them to do, and we do it at their own pace. Some people come straight in and buy 3. Some people will buy 1, and everyone's got. It's all about. There's no sense pushing people. We just provide the information, and people will pick up the information and use it. Providing for themselves in their own comfortable retirement is important. It's important for your children to see that you're successful. There's a lot of reasons why. And yes, there's probably some people out there that won't make the time to see Caroline, have these roadblocks, and will never do anything. They'll have their house paid off. They think paying off their house quicker is the way to wealth. Nothing wrong with paying your house off quicker, but the way to pay it off quicker is to have an investment property, to get the tax deductions and pay off your non-deductible debt. Right. There's a system. It's a proven system. And doing it the get-rich-slow scheme, paying your house off first, you cannot outrun property. Property will always grow, particularly if you leverage it correctly, because that's all you do with a home. When you buy your home, you walk in with 5 or 10%, and then you buy the rest. The same with investment properties. You're just leveraging, but it's good leverage because it's tax deductible. When you buy your own house, there's no tax deductibility at all, and you're not using the system. So we don't want to get too technical, but the bottom line is most people realise they can do something once they see what they can do.
Awesome. So hearing you share all of that, Tim, it really sounds like it's the equivalent to having a mentor in business. Like if you want to go down the fast track and you don't want to make all the mistakes yourself and get burned, then you get a mentor. And so you do the same with property.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And, you've got to have a coach and you've got to be coachable. And that's what's good about social media, Caroline. Like people will sit back and watch you for 2, 3, 4 months, 6 months. And we have quite a lot of people will then ring up and say, Tim, I've been watching you for 6 months on your social media. We're happy enough now to have one of your senior guys come out. And all my people are not pushy. We just explain it. And we find people pick up that ball and run with it when you're not sort of, as opposed to some companies, you've got to buy it now and it's the last one left and all that sort of stuff. That sort of garbage, So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome. And so for my fellow Sydney-siders, so I've got some really exciting news. Well, we jointly do. We've managed to get you down to Sydney next week, Tim.
Can't wait.
Do you want to share this exciting news with my listeners?
Yeah, and Caroline, you're such a wonderful person and you're always giving. And Caroline's coming to our Compass Money Mindset night, where we're going to invite my clients along, and interested people to come along to a private function. As I said, that there's no selling there. It's just information. And Caroline's going to be good enough you are coming, Caroline, I take it.
Absolutely.
That's so good news. And Caroline's going to run through some fun group group thing, so it's not going to be any hard. It'll be actually very entertaining, very enlightening for many people. And we've got a really good finance specialist who's going to explain how to pay your house off quicker with some simple tips that the average bank won't tell you. We're going to have a bit of a chat about what's happening where. Probably going to, and if you're in business, bring your business cards, because it's a bit of a networking night. It's very casual. The first drink is on me. There'll be some nice food there, but it's at 6:30 start or 6:30 for a 7 o'clock start at Parramatta at the Crown Hotel in Church Street there. It just goes for an hour or so. If you want to, have a chat, you can chat to any of the professionals we've got there. Just a really light and easy night, and so much looking forward to it. That's this Wednesday, the 12th, the 12th of June, this Wednesday at Parramatta, and we might put a link up.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll post one just below this video. So yeah, that's fantastic.
But people will need to register, because we're keeping it closed, and we just need to know for catering. So you just go to the website and put your details there, and come along. We look forward to that. Hopefully
awesome.
Everyone there.
Excellent. So the good news is, for anyone who's in Sydney, who's interested in learning about property investment and is thinking about, seeing if they can add that to their wealth creation strategy and start a property portfolio, then come along to Tim's event next week. I'll be speaking and sharing all about money mindset, and then Tim will be sharing a lot of info about, what it takes to get started and what property investment can do for you.
Yeah, that's what I'm actually going to talk about. I'll talk about really simple terms of the ways that you can get involved, just with a bit of leverage. Nothing too hard, because I don't like using the big words. It doesn't prove anything. But the system we have is proven, and it'll all be on display. So hope to see everyone there.
Yes, awesome. And as you said, it's totally it's a no pitch event. We're not selling anything. It's just come along, but you do need to register. So everyone's welcome, but it is going to be a closed group. So we'll post the registration link below, and we hope to see everybody there next Wednesday.
Yeah. And they'll meet a lot of people that have done it for the first time, and people that have bought multiple properties with us, so it's a very casual event. You'll get to meet some people, and it's just the way we like to do business. It's great.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Tim. It's been awesome having you on today, and I'm really excited about kicking off this event next Wednesday.
Can't wait. Okay, guys. Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Bye-bye, Caroline.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.